Morning Willow class, okie dokie. So today we are going to be having a look at something similar to what we have done in the past. Now, just above this video, you will see that there's a video actually posted, which is a scene of August in his bedroom really quite upset. If you haven't watched the whole film, we know that August has got a really good friend called Jack. And he makes friends with Jack and he decides to actually share a lot of his secrets with him, to talk to him about his operation and his facial disfigurement and things like that. Now, August has obviously put a lot of trust into Jack. However, throughout this story and throughout the film, he actually walks past a classroom in school and he hears Jack talking to a group of friends, and he actually says some really hurtful things about how if that was him, he would kill himself, or if he looks like a Halloween mask, he doesn't need to actually dress up, and some really hurtful things for August, for anybody in fact. So he then goes home, and then you will see the video above, he's quite upset in his bedroom. His family don't know why and they don't know what's happened. However, Via then encroaches on him and says, you know, what's happened, and he does start to talk a little bit about it. Now, just in case you haven't actually read any more of this book, I would like you to read up to page 85 if possible, please. Up to 85 will give you a good bit further intro into the book and just help you along with what we're actually going to be doing, because next week when we get into the learning next week, we're actually going to be developing our own story. Okay, and I am sending home some little books that we've made in school for you guys at home, because you can't be there to actually make them yourself, unfortunately. So we've made the books for you, and I know you guys absolutely love writing your own stories and then putting it into a book. And we've got some in the book corner, if you remember from our learning about the Amazon. So that's what you guys are going to do next week, okay? So you need to be reading a little bit more of this book if you haven't already. Even if you've watched the film, please make sure you are reading it. Okay, so today we are looking at setting, character and atmosphere, okay? So we're talking about like the whole perspective of the actual film, of the film clip that we've just seen, okay? And what actually helps us to understand it, what helps us to feel sorry for August, and that sort of thing. So you can see that I've split my page into the setting, the character and the atmosphere, and I've just written a sentence for each of them, which is what you guys are going to do today. You're going to fill your sections. Now, last week I was a little bit disappointed because there were quite a few children who just sent me one sentence about each of those, just because I'd done that on the board. I've done that just to help you guys, and I don't want to do it for you. Please don't just do one sentence. Please make sure that you are filling that section and getting some good detail in, because it's really going to help with your writing as we go throughout this whole project. So the first things that we're going to look at is the setting. Now, the main setting of this scene that is just above is August in his bedroom, okay? So you're going to describe the bedroom. I've just put boy's bedroom that is covered in space posters, but you might say something about the actual bedding. You might say something about the things that are on the wall. You might say something about maybe what's on the door actually. As Via walks up the stairs, it looks at the door and what he's got on there. So talk about all of that in your setting description. So you're going to then create a bit of a description here about the setting, okay? Then we're going to do the same, but with the character. So our main character that we're focusing on is August. So the young boy, August, appears to be very upset and is crying on his bed. I could have just pulled that out and just put the young boy appears to be very upset, but I wanted a little bit more detail, and I want you to know who I'm talking about if I haven't seen the film clip, for example. So you guys are going to do that with the character. So think about why he's crying. Think about who then he starts to talk to. Think about how he becomes quite angry and says, "No, Via, you'll never understand." So talk about his aggression and his anger in here. Yeah, talk about he's sat with his dog trying to comfort him. So that's part of the character description, okay? So that's what you're going to have in there. And then finally, we've got the atmosphere. And the atmosphere is basically... atmosphere makes us think about setting, but actually it's more about the actual filming of it. So we've done this in the past when we've talked about the lighting, the sound and the camera angles and how that makes you as a watcher feel. So I know that the sound at the start, the music, oh gosh, it's a right tearjerker. So that music makes me think, oh gosh, it's a really sad scene. Obviously you've got to have the scenes that match the music matches the actual setting and the character, doesn't it? So the music creates a very sad atmosphere and helps to create movement in this scene, okay? Then I might talk a little bit about the lighting. Well, at first it's quite a dark, scene because he is really sad and it's getting that expression across. But is it going to then brighten up towards the end once you've started watching it a bit more? Talk about the camera angles as well, like how is the angle like zooming in on the boy when he's shouting and screaming, and that's just to get that aggression and anger across to the viewer again, okay? So this is what you guys are going to be doing today. You've got the long date and the lesson objective at the top, and don't forget to gap your work, please. Split your page into 3 sections. Those are your headings. If you need to, pause the video and use these to help you to get you started and then go into more detail. But remember that 1 sentence for each of these is not enough, okay? Right, so good luck with your learning today.